Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Van Jews, do you seek recognition?
I do.
Strike last word.
Strike the last word.
Gentleman's recognized.
You know, I actually wasn't going to say anything in the beginning here, but it just struck me so much that we're kind of, on the other side, rewriting history. First of all, they will mention that it took this long to come up with a piece of legislation. This is complex legislation. During the time they have the majority in the House, in the Senate, and the presidency, we didn't see anything really substantive done to stop the fentanyl flow. It increased. We didn't see anything really substantively done to have borders. Ladies and gentlemen, let's tell the truth. No nation of any strength, no nation of any worth would go without having borders. You must have functional borders to have a functional nation. And we want to talk about cruelty, like literally the Republican members here want to be cruel. Nobody's attempting to be cruel. It's cruel what we're doing. It's cruel that babies are thrown over the border hoping that something will be done with them and they can just get them across so the cartel can make money from the people who have that done. It's cruel what we're doing to Americans because we're introducing the cartel into our way of life. You've heard many individuals now comment that our next war, as it was, is going to be with the cartels. They shouldn't be in America. When I was in Yuma, I visited, many different areas at the border, but when I was in Yuma, the cartels had so little respect for the inspection that was going on that we were part of, that they were doing wheelies and circles around us. They don't respect the United States. They're creating a huge, it is a huge fentanyl problem. These children, you want to talk about cruelty, when these children get over here, they are almost in bondage. They're working at ages they should never be working, at jobs they should never be doing. Many of them are raped in the process. And we're calling this a humane process that exists now. These are little kids, and we're letting that happen. They're used for child labor, sex slavery. And then there's a terror watch list. We do have people that get through that are on the terror watch list that we don't catch. Nobody wants to say that. They're doing the best job they can at the border, but we don't have enough people. It's called the rule of law. What is being done that's so deceptive is saying that you don't like immigration and you don't want immigration. That is not the case. We want legal immigration. We want safe immigration. We want children that aren't going to be used as sexual slaves. We don't want amnesty misused for something that it wasn't meant for. There's a specific purpose for amnesty, and we've gone way beyond that. Crime, cruelty, sexual slavery, the huge cost to America, the dangers that exist, the cartel mocking us. Mayorkas, who looks like he's dazed. I'm sorry, but this is a man who should resign or should be impeached. He's doing a terrible job, and he doesn't even admit the obvious. It's so obvious what's happening at our border. It's so terrible what's happening at our border. It's so hurtful to Americans and to the people that are crossing, and most of all to the children. And Mayorkas says everything is fine. You show him a picture, you show him a vision of what's going on, you show him on television or on a video, and he says everything's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not okay. That's why we're here today. And it is a difficult issue, and there aren't easy answers, but I think you find the answers with the rule of law. I find you have the answers when you seek compassion for children and young people that are being abused, and for adults, by the way, that are being abused. And I think you find the answer when you have an organized system in which you redo legal, that's the word, legal immigration. Don't let them confuse you. There's legal and there's illegal. We shouldn't have and we shouldn't want illegal immigration because it's causing all these problems. Legal immigration is a wonderful thing. We've all gone through that process together. So let's tell the truth. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's really try to fix the thing and not just try to throw out these, words that really don't mean anything to anybody because they're not honest and they're not full of integrity in what they say. Nobody here wants to hurt anybody, but we do want a strong America and a strong border. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman's time has expired. Who seeks recognition? Mr. Roy? Recognized for 5 minutes.
Strike the last word.
You recognize. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank the chairman. I would note that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle have their talking points in order, because that's how this works. Cruel, extreme, unworkable, immoral. Make for nice splashy sound bites and Twitter for show for the television to get out and send out as clips. Mr. Chairman, I would ask to insert into the record 2 New York Times articles, one titled "As Migrant Children Were Put to Work, United States Ignored Warnings." The second, "Alone and Exploited Migrant Children Work Brutal Jobs Across the United States."
Without objection.
I would note that one of the quotes in one of these articles, both in the New York Times, both published in the last few months, quote, "While HHS checks on all minors by calling them a month after they begin living with their sponsors, data obtained by the Times showed that over the last 2 years, the agency could not reach more than 85,000 children. Overall, the agency lost immediate contact with 1/3 of migrant children." It's not as cute as kids in cages, is it? The supposed cages that were put in place by Barack Obama, that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle like to try to exploit to be those who are the truly compassionate ones, you see. Those who will look out and preach that they are the ones who care for brown people. They are the ones who care for people who are migrants. I assume that they don't believe that it was cruel when ranchers in South Texas and Arizona run across the dead bodies of children and migrants exploited by the coyotes. The 856 migrants that died attempting to cross the southwest border last fiscal year alone. 856 dead bodies floating in the Rio Grande, found on ranches exploited by cartels. I suppose it's just perfectly fine that cartels are operating with impunity along the Texas border, slitting the throats of people who dare to oppose them, threatening people, burning people alive, locking them into bars and buildings and burning them alive. I suppose the 53 migrants that cooked in the Texas heat in a tractor trailer in San Antonio last August, that's not cruel. That's not immoral. That's not extreme. But yet that's the truth. That's the truth of the current system perpetuated by Democrats in the false name of compassion. Looking out to be able to say that they are the ones that can speak for the huddled masses, that they alone are the ones that can do that. That somehow those who seek to come to the United States seeking a better way of life because the rule of law matters, that we then thwart and undermine the rule of law, allowing children, women, and people seeking a better way of life to die because we, in fact, refuse to enforce the rule of law. Yes, we are putting forward measures today to ensure that our system works, because a system that works begins and ends with the rule of law and ensuring that people are protected. What we are putting forward today, including provisions from H.R. 29, but not all the provisions, because the legislative process works. We're having conversations, and we have a package today that accomplishes the objectives set forth in H.R. 29 and the numerous other proposals we have put forward over the years to ensure that people who come to the United States seeking asylum will have their case heard, but likewise ensure that the administration can no longer flout the rule of law using asylum and parole to end run the rule of law to release people into the United States in ways that causes 85,000 children to get lost. Children in these articles getting sold into the human trafficking business, the sex trafficking business. All while my colleagues on the other side of the aisle like to tout how compassionate they are. Well, go campaign on that. We will campaign on standing up for the children, the families, the migrants who seek to come here and do it the right way. To do it following the rule of law so this country can continue to stand as a beacon of hope for the world rather than the lawless morass that this administration has put forward, importing lawlessness, importing fentanyl, instead of exporting the rule of law and hope around the world. That's what this bill will stand up to reinstate. I yield back.
Thank you, gentleman's time's expired. Who seeks recognition?
Hey, before you click on the next video, if y'all could do me a big favor and hit that like button. The algorithm loves it, and so do I, because it helps promote these videos and get the message out about what our government has been doing. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications, because every time I put out a video, you want to know about it, right? Thanks again, and have a good one. See you on the next one. Peace.